don't close the door, waiting a chance for when we'll be back again. You make me feel so crazy, still in love with you. You make me feel amazing when I'm next to you. You make me feel so crazy, my heart breaks for you. Can't help but know that I'm still in love with you. You make me feel so. When there's no hope, loving for you who saw me before I knew who I'd be. What I have around me means nothing to me if I can't share it with you. Walking through all the dust, memories and frame, a past we simply let fade. But I don't close the door, waiting a chance for when we'll be back again. You make me feel so crazy, still in love with you. You when there's no hope hiding, no chance concealing what deep down I felt for you. I regret for losing the one who loved me, for who I can't go back to. Walking through all the dust, memories and
Hey everyone, welcome to the live. I gotta turn on my comments so I can see what you guys are talking about. Gotta get some shout outs to who's here already. Hey Lisa, my girl Alexa, want to talk about Golden Bachelor. Yes, I got like so caught up, like when I went out of town, it threw me so off to try to get caught up. But I went to the live watch party last week, which was so fun, and I actually need to go today because we put like the black rose ceremony that they do there, and they didn't do it because they didn't announce all three, right? But yeah, it was a good episode last week. So hey girl, Crucial Todd, how are you? Hi Meg, how are you? Share Bear, welcome. Becky, hey. You guys, okay, I did not realize. Well, first off, what are you drinking? I'm just finishing up work, but I had to do a live with you guys. I could not wait, and I got to watch Golden Bachelor tonight, but I had to do a live. I'm sorry. We needed to talk about this show that I just watched, or podcast. But what are you drinking for the live tonight? I'm drinking cherry slush Alani. This thing is delicious. It really does taste like a cherry slush. And my where I'm at that has like the really good ice, like the baby ice. You know what I'm talking about when I say the good ice. So, this is about to be delicious. So tell me what you guys are having a sip on in the chat. Because for most of you, I'm assuming this is after work. But yeah, I feel like I should be doing ASMR. It's very ASMR-y. Just Scrapping. Hi, Just Scrapping. How are ya? Tony, hey. Becky, water. Come on, Becker. At least mermaid water. Give me something, you know. Just water, Tony. These things are delicious, though. Okay, did you guys have a chance to Well, seriously, I have to get up at 3 a.m. for work, so I'm drinking my sleepy time tea. Is delicious. It's that time of the season. As you guys know, I live in the desert, and it has been unusually hot for a very long time here. Like it should have cooled down a long time ago, and it's just now. I think we're like maybe in the low 90s or high 80s, low 90s during the day, which is crazy. It should be like low 80s, high 70s maybe during the day. So it's been unusually hot. It has been definitely nice during the morning time, but I am over it. I'm trying to get all my fall vibes in and my fall clothes in. Excuse me, I'm just over it. Ooh, Black Girl Magic Wine. They make really good wine, actually. I love it. Diane, hey. Yeah, you guys. Okay, so did you have a chance? Oh, if you're here, you guys hit the like button so people know we're on here and more people will join and we'll get more of our Red Lipstick Club up in here because we got to talk about this. Hi, Lisa. You guys, I did send James an email about us maybe collaborating on a live for when they do the tell-alls. I haven't heard back from him yet. So I feel like all my Red Lipstick Club folks have to like spam his comments to say, you need to get with Red Lipstick Club for a live or check your email. Because he, you know, when you get so many comments, if it's, you see the same thing repeated, then you'll like pay attention. But I just think him and I have to do it. Because I'm starting to see some collabs happening. And I'm like, we have to get on it beforehand. Friday, Shell says Friday lunch time in Australia. Hey, girl. Hi, I was born in Geelong, Australia. I am Australian. Can you believe that? So yes, girl. Aussies. I love it. Me too. I love dreams too. I think it would be so fun. Just because like how we do commentary and our personalities. So yeah. So I was like, I need my Red Lipstick Club to spam the comments so he knows that I messaged him. Because also I know none of us ever check our emails, but it's usually the easiest way. So yeah, you guys, I watched it. I did not know this podcast was like almost 2 hours long. And like it was Cody the whole time. I thought they were going to do like short little segment with him. And now I see why everybody was telling me to watch it because I was like, oh my God, this man gave these people over an hour and a half of his time. I mean, I know he likes the sound of his own voice, but he was giving more information about how he thinks and feels in this interview than sometimes I'm thinking he's doing in his confessionals and his talking heads. So when I tell you guys the Sister Wife fans were lighting that live chat up, baby, they were mad. If you guys have not seen the live chat for that podcast, I'm wondering how many subscribers and when they got off that live chat, because that probably had to be one of their largest videos they've ever done. And you could tell almost everybody in that chat were Sister Wife fans. It was like hit after hit after him. Everything he said, people were like hitting him. I've never seen anything like it. I still can't believe it, you guys, that he agreed to this. I cannot believe this man agreed to go on this. And at first, you notice he's like, he does like, he prefaces and says, oh, well, I don't want to give spoilers, you know, so I'm not really going to talk about the show. So I'm thinking, okay, oh Lord, this isn't going to be that good, right? These interviewers were, in my opinion, so skilled. They were better than the tell-all people. The amount of information they were able to get this man to spill, which tells me, you guys, he really does need a male interviewer for these tell-alls because he's a chauvinist. And for some reason, if it's a man asking him the same questions that a woman would ask him, he doesn't take offense to it. He thinks that they're on his side, when in fact, these dudes were masterful in getting him to spill all the tea, getting him to basically tell on himself, make himself look just as bad as we know he is. And he's thinking they have his back, when in fact, they made him look they made him look like the villain he is. They were so strategic in their question asking. And I think the only reason he answered those questions and he was open to it is because it was men. So it tells me TLC needs to get a man interviewer because I feel like these tell-alls would be completely different if it was a man asking him. What does it say? Becky, did they still come? Yeah, Becky, you could see that. So if you have like on the right-hand side when you watch the podcast, it's got like the show live chat feed. That's where it's at. And even the regular comments were lit. But that live chat, ooh, y'all was going in on the live chat. Reality TV cringe called you out in their last podcast, giving you all. Oh, yes, I love reality TV cringe. I go on their page and like comment and so people just support them because I know they were really close to hitting their 1,000 subscribers. And you know, it's an exhausting thing doing content, you guys. It's fun, but it's exhausting. It's a lot of work. And I know that they put so much work into the content they do. So to be able to hit 1,000 subscribers and help watch your channel grow and start to see those things like roll, like I just want it for people like that because I'm like, yes, I understand. But they're so sweet. I love them so much. And we'll probably, I think I might get with them too on something. I think it'll be fun to jump on a video with them as well because they're fun. I think he kind of intimidates Suki here. He does that to women, period. Like, especially now. And after watching the podcast, it just all made sense, you guys. Everything made sense. He is a conspiracy theorist. That I was like, oh no, he's one of those. He goes down the YouTube rabbit hole. He's like one of those guys. It told me everything I needed to know. It was crazy too to see like how much he doesn't really subscribe to the religion really anymore. And there's been I'm not going to say a lot, but there's been a reviewer or so that's been basically touting out that he's going back to the faith and going back to the religion. And I'm like, if you watch this podcast, that would be very difficult for me to believe. Because he's basically saying, I'm not listening to a man on earth. Like a man on earth is not a prophet. I don't really believe in that. I don't know what that is. I'm not subscribing to that. I think they're basically all scammers. I don't see him going back to any organized religion with prophets in it. I don't foresee it. I love them too. They're so sweet. The name of the name of the podcast that Cody was on, if that's what you're asking, it's called Mormon Discussions Inc. Mormon Discussions Inc. I don't know how they landed that interview, and like I said, I feel like they did because it's a man. I really think that's the only reason why, you guys, that he landed that. Yeah, he probably does. Y'all. I think he's like conspiracy theory is different because there was like, what was this? There was this movie that was out like in the mid 2000s. I want to say like 2007 or 8. There were a couple like conspiracy type videos that like me and my friends watching were like, that could happen. Thinking that some things might not be what it is one thing. He's one of those people that goes down the rabbit hole on every single thing. And that can be really dangerous, like almost not really a grasp on reality. His brothers have a podcast and here and there a lot. Yeah, and he kind of mentioned the podcast. So, but I wanted to bring up some of the things that he talked about, you guys. So now I finally saw everybody's laughing about a diesel jean model. He called Robin a diesel jean model, y'all. First off, do we still wear diesel jeans? I didn't even know that was still something we do. I guess back during that time, diesel jeans were pretty big, so that would make sense. But she was just skinny. I mean, she wasn't like overly attractive. And I think the other thing is these other women, like Christine, had 10 kids hanging out for all day long. And Janelle really, when you're overweight sometimes too, you're working a trillion hours, thinking about how you look isn't really the first priority. So I could see why Janelle was whatever. And Mary got on his nerves. But it was like, yeah, this woman's like in her early 30s. Of course she looks like she had the snapback. She had her kids really young. And she was thin. And you could kind of see in those early episodes where even Christine's like, oh, I'm glad that he got like a trophy wife, and just downplaying herself really too, and that like as though she wasn't a trophy either. And I'm just like, they were subscribing to this with him. um I'm glad that Christine realizes she's actually the one, because maybe she'd be looking good. Lisa never heard that brown jeans. I'm going to just listen now, but it's been nice chatting. Oh, great. Nice to chat with you too. Yeah, it was Diesel Jeans. The pedestal, you guys, he puts Robin on in this podcast. He says that she's like the nicest person ever. I mean, she could do no wrong, you guys. She's the nicest person ever. She's a little shy apparently too. I don't when has she been shy, y'all? When has she been shy? She's the main one talking for a lot of things, and she claims that she's like the end all be all for what has to do with Cody. But how he talked about plural marriage, watching it, it became really clear to me, y'all, that I just think he stopped believing in plural marriage, and he didn't have the guts to tell the wives that he didn't believe in it. So because he didn't believe in it, he also didn't feel a responsibility to stay with the wives that he really wasn't in love with anymore, or to really work on those relationships. Like, I think if he still believed in plural marriage, he would have wanted to work on those marriages in a real way and stay emotionally connected to them. But I think he was just honestly trying to keep Janelle and them around for the money, and because he was ashamed of it, and didn't want people to look down on him because he lost all his wives. And I think Robin too had a lot to do with it, because I think Robin was basically telling him in the background, like, you realize if you lose all these wives, everyone's going to blame me for it. And we are blaming you. We're blaming him too. He's number one, but baby Robin, you're number two. You're number two on the blame list. Diesel Jeans got more promo than it's okay. They definitely got more promo than they've had, because I'm like, I have not looked at a pair of Diesel Jeans in over a decade. Was she shy when but listen, she's not shy. That's why I was like, who is he? That's how I know he's talking to people that he knows aren't familiar with the show. Anybody that's watched the show would be able to rebut it. And that's why I have to give these men kudos, because they both really were only this familiar with the show, right? They weren't that familiar with it, but they still had the wherewithal to ask the right questions to get him to spill. And he was running his mouth. And it was funny because one of the hosts, when he was talking about, he's basically breaking down a conversation he had with Cody. He had called Cody prior to the interview, and he was just going to ask him a few questions just so he can kind of get up to date on what's going to be happening for the interview. And he talks about how Cody was like talking his head off, going down the rabbit hole of what happened. But before the guy says what their conversation was about, he basically prefaces this whole situation by saying, yeah, you lost all your wives and blah, blah, blah. I mean, he basically makes Cody look like not just the worst. And Cody's just letting him go. And then he talks about how Cody would not get off the phone with him because Cody wanted to run his mouth. And he says, well, he wasn't really talking about himself. We're like, yeah, actually he was. We can pretty much guarantee that's what he was doing, talking about himself. We know Cody. It was just so funny to me, you guys, like how they were able to get him to just talk. And so as he's going through these conversations, he gets to the point where he's talking about the one house. And he keeps saying that there was only one he says one wife didn't want this big house. Well, it's not that just one wife didn't want it. It was that only one wife would speak up publicly and loudly to you and say they don't want it. The only one that I recall being 100% cool in on one house was Janelle. You guys tell me, do you remember Robin or Mary ever being 100% in on the one house idea? Because I don't recall that. Hey, Deborah. Probably cut a bunch of cut a bunch of the confessional. Listen, they need to let the confessional run, because if he's going to run his mouth like he did on this podcast, I'm trying to see that. Because I'm trying to see him, just let him go. He's one of those people that you just give him an inch and they'll take a mile. Let him take the mile, because he will literally just tell on himself, which is exactly what he did in this podcast. He basically told on himself. He talks about how he wasn't in love with the wife. I'm going to tell you guys, the moment when I tell you the live chat exploded was the moment that this man talked about Robin getting her 11-day. He didn't even say 11-day. He just says getting her honeymoon. Talked about Robin getting her honeymoon, bringing up sacred loneliness, and saying that because they were public and they were on this television show, what these women would normally would have just talked to each other about, they were able now to talk about on a big stage about how they were feeling a certain type of way about this honeymoon. And he says she didn't get anything more than what the other wives got. So let me get this straight. Mary, Janelle, and Christine, they all got a huge lavish wedding. We know Mary got a big wedding, but it wasn't no TLC wedding, okay? And you mean to tell me all three of them got 11-day honeymoons on the beach? Because last time I recall, all three of them did nothing but 3-day road trips. I don't recall any of the three getting an 11-day honeymoon. In fact, they did a whole confessional segment about how they did not get what Robin got. They did a whole thing about how Christine says, well, tell me you really need this. And for you to act like Robin was not selfish in that moment to ask for this honeymoon, knowing that Christine had just given birth, lets me know how delusional this man was, how blinded he was by how he felt about Robin. When I tell you guys that chat lit up, oh my God. Oh my God. People were so mad. Appreciate their careful questions and silence so Cody could. Me too. That's what I loved about them. They were very patient, and they were like, they just kind of left it there, right? And let him run his mouth. It was so good. I'm glad you caught the live too. Hey, Kayla. I want to see how much it is going to burn Cody when he sees Christine and David making money from his show that he had a calling to create. That was, you know what, that was interesting too, when he was talking about having the calling to do this show and how, it was to basically make everything public. And I will say this, he was smart enough to know that he did have a big idea, right? He had a big idea, and he was smart enough to know this is beyond a documentary. Like, this could really be something huge for my family. And just like he was talking about how he wanted women to get degrees because him as one man, they can't take care of all the wives. You need to have that money coming in. At least he was smart enough to know, I'm sick of my family living in poverty. We got to find a way out of here. I mean, that was one thing he did right. But then when he talks about, you guys, like how Robin had all these choices of men she could have married, and he was so excited. That's how I'm like, this had nothing to do with a religious calling. This was your lust. You saw this young woman, that young woman wanted you, it made you feel a certain kind of way. And then you hear about how much time he spent courting her. He spent 10 months courting her, and he had a lot of private time with her, which the other wives did not get that. So yeah, it's going to be completely different. You were having an affair, Cody. You basically had 3 wives that you'd been with for 15 plus years. You had been exhausted, broke, tired. You get this young, skinny woman that thinks you're like God's gift to the earth. You're rescuing her. She's wearing freaking chains with your name on them. You felt like a man again. And you were basically having an affair. You fell in love with your mistress. And now you've ruined all your other marriages and left your other wives for your mistress. That's what it is. Just call it what it is. Because she's loyal. Get out of here. I mean, come on. You're right. Only Janelle wanted only Janelle wanted the big house. Nobody else wanted that big house. And if you guys haven't watched my video I just did, like, I'm not going to do too many deep dive things because that's not really my thing. I like having more conversations with you guys. But I did want to bring up the money thing again and like revisit it, the money situation again. Because as we're getting deeper into these episodes, and we're going to really start to see Janelle pulling away from Kody, I feel like that's going to start coming up pretty soon here now, about how they're going to start dividing these assets, and how she's going to get her money back from all these investments into this family. So I was like, we got to talk about the money line here, because the money situation is really messy with this family. It's messy and it's manipulative. Robin definitely didn't want the house. Neither did Kody. I think it was for a story. I think it was for a storyline too. And even though he said he spent thousands of dollars for the design, I'm just like, well, that was a drop in the bucket for the conversations it created. Because I think if you really thought that the women would be at all really invested in this option, you would have brought them in. You wouldn't have just surprised them with it and wasted money on something. Like, he knew those women would not want to live in one house. And then he says that the women blocked him from his goal. And I'm just like, he talks about that. He talks about he almost backpedals against himself. Like, he talks about how, oh, I wanted a cul-de-sac with all my family, and I'm just and I think living in one home was my goal. Well, you had that with the 3 wives. Then he also brings up how he was told many times within the church that when you get over 3 wives, the more wives you have, the worse your relationships are going to be. So that just tells me you didn't really care about those initial relationships, because if you did, you would not have brought in a 4th wife when you were already dealing with relationship issues with all 3 of them. And then 2, if your goal was to keep your family in a one home so you could see all your children, why then would you bring in another wife knowing you would not have space in that said home for her? Which means immediately you would be in a position where you would have to split homes. It was crazy, y'all. It was crazy. The other 2 kept their mouth shut on the one house and let Christine. That's exactly what it did. They let Christine take the brunt. Like, they let Christine be the sacrificial lamb in that, which still makes me mad, because Mary knew she didn't want that house. She knew her marriage. And honestly, I think she knew her marriage was over, which is why she didn't want that house. Like, you're not about to wrap my money into this, Kody. And Robin didn't want it because Robin doesn't want plural marriage either. She doesn't want it. And no one likes her. Yeah, the honeymoon comment was a wild. The honeymoon comment, y'all, was so wild to me. It was so wild. I'm like, the comments were like, are you kidding me? People were like breaking it down. They were like breaking down, like, bro, you literally had an 11-day honeymoon while your wife had just given birth to your child. Okay, so Lisa, I wonder what game you're at, Lisa. Did you get to go to a World Series game too? Let me know in the comments. But so I know for sure Janelle's name is on there, and I'm almost positive Mary's name is still on one of the pieces of property too. But I know for sure they took Robin's name off and Christine's name off, and Janelle is definitely on it when they paid it off. Robin and Mary didn't have to reject the idea because Christine was so vocal. Yep. They let her take his full wrath when neither of them wanted it either, or they could have been on board. Exactly. And they did not have her back at all. And you know what? Now I see why Christine doesn't mess with them or fool with either one of them, because even Christine knew they didn't want that. Christine knew that they did not want that house. She knew it. But they let her take it, as you say. They let her take the brunt of it and be the bad guy. They got a 2 or 3 day road trip. That's all they got. But ask Kody, they got an 11-day honeymoon. Ask Kody, they all got the same thing. It was equal. And then you guys, when he brings up the point where he was talking about Joseph Smith and like how you have to buy a brooch for one wife and you have to buy them for 40. First off, bro, why do you have 40 wives? Why do you need 40 wives? But also, even let's just say you had 40 kids. If you get for one kid, you got to get for all. It may not be the same thing for all of them, but you're not going to buy gifts for one kid and not buy it for the other unless it's their birthday or something, which is the same for the wives. If you're going to do something nice for one kid, it's very rare that parents are going to do something nice for one kid and not do it for the other. I have never in my life received, and I still do, receive Easter baskets for my mom. She will ship those, baby. Sometimes the Easter purse, she gets creative. Or a Valentine. My mom sends me flowers for Valentine's Day every year. And you know who else she sends them to? My brother. She never sends to one and not the other. Mine, even if she sends something, she might send something to me 1 month later, and then she'll send in something to him the next month. But either way, if we were to line up all the stuff, it's even. So why would you not expect for your wives to want an even distribution of things to them as well? Why would you not expect that? Cheryl says, I'm rewatching. I'm up to season 6 now, and I forgot so much. Girl, if you haven't been watching my reviews, my recap rewatches, we're going to be going, once the season's over, I'm going to bump it up to 2. So I'm going to replace my season 18 review with another rewatch, and we'll be doing 2 episodes at a time. But yeah, the rewatch is necessary. If you haven't done a rewatch, you guys, do it along with me. Oh my God. Okay. So I'm working from home on the NFL podcast. Had to step away, but I'm back now. What did I miss? Oh man. So don't tell me if you know, because I'm going to watch it tonight. Starts at 7 here. I'm going to go to the live watch, see who the final 2 are for Golden Bachelor. But I really want Faith. Hopefully it's Faith. Teresa got to go. I can't do Teresa. I can't. Cody would be so lucky to have Iyanla Vanzant. I wanted to bring her show back too. Oh my God, I love that show. It was so good. Yeah, him acting like the honeymoons were equal was so crazy to me. Look, it was even when you put all their honeymoons together, it still didn't equal what Robin got. I think too, you guys, Christine wanted to be on the show as well. Like, I think definitely, because they're, number one, they're both hams and they both like attention. Christine and Cody both. So I would not be at all be shocked that Christine wanted to be on there. And remember, Christine used to be on the circuit, right? Promoting polygamy and doing that for like government things and stuff like that. She was part of that whole circuit pushing polygamy. So absolutely, I could see Christine saying like, hey, let's get on that show. Like, and also too, she's probably like, I'm trying to get out this basement. Like, let's get a show. Nacho show, no more. Oh my God, I would love that. I want them to get a spinoff so bad. I'm so tired of him. He definitely wanted his pencil wet. That'll never get old. Community knew the Browns had the show, including Robin. Wonder how appealing he would have been. That's what I'm trying to say. To act like I think that's what he's not understanding. I'm like, Cody, she didn't pick you just because you treated your other wives well. Because honestly, I bet at that point you really weren't treating them that well either. She picked you because she knew that you were going to be an eventual cash cow, and she was broke. And I'm sorry, but I don't know how desirable, you guys, it would be to have a single mom of 3 young children like that with no real financial support from the ex. So you're taking on all of it. For you to make me believe that she just had so many suitors after her, I guess, I mean, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Oh, DT, hilarious. John also always wanted the big house, so technically Cody should have just stayed with Janelle. Yeah, but the thing is, he wasn't in love with Janelle, y'all. Janelle was his bestie. I don't care what he tried to say. Oh, they had a renaissance. No, I think maybe they had a small moment because Janelle started to take better care of herself. And, like there was that time period when they were signing the Brown family, what was it? Pact, or I don't know what they called it. I don't know if they called it a pact per se, but they did that whole party for it. Remember, they all got their dresses done, and Janelle was looking snatched. Like she had that's the best Janelle had looked for years, was during that time period. Remember, she was like super in the gym working out. Her hair looked good. She was doing her makeup. I mean, she just looked so good. And I'm like, yeah, they probably did have a renaissance there because Janelle was like just taking care of herself, like, but I don't think that's Janelle's personality regularly to do that. She's getting a lot better now, as you notice, but I think it's because she doesn't have all the kids in the house anymore. So she can kind of shift some attention to herself. Even with Christine, look what happened, how Christine was able to glow up when she didn't have 15 million kids to run after. It's amazing what you have time to do when you're not the only person responsible for a whole bunch of people. All of a sudden, now they actually have time to do something for themselves. Cody, you didn't think about that. You're chasing after, Robin, who has a nanny. No wonder she has the time. I don't think he ever really had a testimony to polygamy. I think he just wanted to please his parents. I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked. Look how he handled the Christmas gifts for kids of got. And that's the thing, is like, in any real home, you're not going to give to one and not give to all. It doesn't matter if it's wives or children, you're just not going to do it. Because any normal person would have a jealous reaction. That's a normal reaction to have. Only time I ever see it okay is like if you know your family is really poor and you're an older kid, you might tell your parents, hey, y'all, I know money's tight. I go ahead and spend the money on the little ones because they're going to really remember this. I'm okay. That's a different scenario, but that's not the case here. It really is not. I would have left him too. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, he didn't know. He doesn't understand what being equitable is. Like, even if it's not equal, it needs to be equitable. You can't always make things equal, but you can make things equitable. You should live stream a bit from the watch party. It was still fun. And oh, okay. I may have time actually to stop home. Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna have time to stop home and get my tripod, but I'll try to get a little bit of live and guys show you. And I'll jump on live to show my reaction to when they actually announce who the top 2 are for Golden Bachelor. Wish I had a Golden Bachelor watch party. I don't know. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't have them in LA. It would make sense that they would have one. I mean, I'm in Phoenix and they have one. It's at a hotel. So I wouldn't be shocked if you didn't Google something that there's something out there. You caught a live. Hey, Loving Live. Yeah, I'm gonna be on here for at least another 23 minutes or so. So I'm gonna give you guys a full hour. Miss Iyanla's the only one who fits. Baby, Iyanla, could you imagine him talking to Iyanla? He wouldn't be able to get any of these excuses by her. Like, none. Big Love was popular at that time, and Kody saw himself as Bill Paxton. Big Love, I just started watching that. I didn't realize how funny that show was. Like, I didn't realize how they were really tossing comedy into that situation for that show, which makes sense. Shout out to R.I.P. to Bill Paxton. He was great in that show. But I think even the setup they had where all the backyards joined up, that's kind of how Kody had in the cul-de-sac. And even those women, they didn't act like they were immune to feeling jealous or whatever. But I did notice that all 3 women seemed to make an effort to have each other's back, at least at the beginning, right? And you had the first wife really has to be a peacemaker. Like if the first wife isn't a peacemaker, I think it really throws stuff off. And I think that's what also messed Kody up a little bit, is that because Mary had that personality. Mary, to me, did not have the personality of a first wife. To me, I think Christine or Janelle would have made a better first wife. Not to say that Christine wouldn't have been a little bit jealous, but I just think she has more of that personality that would fit that. I don't think Kody likes the fact that Robin is there for the cash. She said all women are like that. He's such a, oh my God. I know that guy. He's a piece of work, y'all. What did that Renaissance comment mean? I didn't get it. Oh, what did I talk about with Renaissance? I don't know. Was that me that said it? Asking a mission statement, y'all. Yes, mission statement was what it was. Janelle was very financially savvy. Oh, okay. I know about when I said the Renaissance. Okay. When Kody did his talking heads at one of these not talking heads. Yeah, his talking heads in the last episode, maybe 2 episodes ago, where him and Janelle had their sit down talk with each other, right, at the restaurant. And then they go to a talking head. He says, me and Janelle had like a real Renaissance. Basically, like you had like a real moment in your relationship where you were really redefining it, and it was filled with like romance and love and things like that, things that they normally had not had. A Renaissance period. That's what Kody had said it was. But I'm saying during that time period, I felt like that's when also Janelle felt her very best. Like she had time to go to the gym now. She had time to take care of herself, like get her hair done for real, put her makeup on, get a dress that really fit her body properly, and not just having to throw on clothes. So I think that when you feel good about yourself, yeah, that's going to impact your relationship. But Cody was too selfish to even see how his wives were impacted by, number one, having all these kids and then just being stressed out. Like, even people that just have one kid, it's hard for you to even get take a shower on your own. Can you imagine 6? Cody was hot. Yeah, I think that's what it was too, because she was looking good, y'all. She was looking very good. Yeah, he's just so selfish. He's not going to send them anything. He doesn't care. An uptick on date night pics on Twitter when Janelle was taking care of herself. So I do, yeah, I really believe, you guys, that they were being a lot more romantic then. And I think it's honestly, when you feel better about yourself, like I said, that's usually what happens. Everyone's final pick. Yeah, if you guys are watching the final pick for the Golden Bachelor, are you watching the Golden Bachelor? Put your final pick in the chat. Obviously, me and Lexa are watching it. Not everybody's watching it, but it's pretty good. It's entertaining for sure. I loved Tamron Hall. I thought she was one of the best for the tell-alls, because she did not care. She was going to ask all the questions, but she's like that on her own show too. So I'm not shocked that she was going to ask them everything. Yeah, I think Janelle will be a great first wife too, because I'm like, you really do, like I said, you have to be a peacemaker. You have to be somebody that, can kind of toe that line, right? Ooh, shout out for the super. Okay, you guys, I think we're gonna do thanks, Arlette, for the super chat. Love your show. Love your takes on this. Thank you. Okay, wasn't that super chat video fun though? It's the little things in life, it's like it's just like the little sparkles and sprinkle. Lodi, I love it. Lodi, the man child. Ramen is little girl lost. Without the OG3, there aren't any grown-ups. That's interesting take on that. I will say this: watching, I did not feel like it was a waste of my time, and I think if you are covering this show, watching that podcast honestly is really good for you to do, because to me it gave a look into Cody, where he actually was responding because he didn't feel attacked. And I think, like I said, it's because it was men and not women. I think if it was women asking him these questions, he would not be so loose with the mouth. But because it was these men, and the men kind of seemed like they were chilling out, I think that's why he felt that way. Oh, Catherine just sent thank you, Catherine. Okay, I'm going to give you a video anyway. Thanks, Catherine, for the cash app. Love you, girl. We'll use that for a cocktail at the watch party, and I'll show you my cocktail I get with it. Really is little things for she to tell my job to give me paid sick days so I can be more generous. You know what? It's America, y'all. America is so stingy when it comes to everything, and they wonder why, like our life expectancies started to dip. It's like we're working like crazy. You're trying to get benefits. You're trying to take care of your families. I wish all of us could have been Robin and stumbled across a family that's going to be on reality TV and we never have to work again. Where are those families at? I need to stumble across one. Plural marriage. Ooh, Lexa, do you want plural marriage? Huh. Tell us about it if you do. Hi, Queen. Well, you still made it. I'm still going to be on for another 15 minutes, so you're good. Just Scrapping, you're welcome. Thank you, Just Scrapping, too. You sent me not a super, I guess a thank you or something on my video. Either way, though, that was super sweet of you. Thank you. I like living the lifestyle. I would like to have other women to help take care of the man and the kids. But like Janelle, I'm a fan of the one big house idea. So in my world, we would all be super. Really, Lexa? You know what's so funny is I'm not surprised that you would think you would like it, because there are days where I kind of think like, I wonder if I would like plural marriage. Because I'll be honest with you, um, and even like with the person I'm dating, he is somebody that would be more than happy to stay at home and be a stay-at-home dad and loves to cook and clean and do those things. And that I know for sure is the exact type of man I need, because I am mildly Janelle. I'm not as bad as Janelle. Like if I have to be the one to do the domestics, I'm great at them. But if you gave me an option, I'm very career driven. So I don't really mind being the breadwinner. And but it's very difficult to meet a man that can handle that. So when you do meet one, it's great. But I could see women like Janelle wanting that plural situation because, like you said, having help with the children. If you don't want the guy around all the time, like I think too, like when you get older and let's say you've been living on your own for a while, it can be a hard transition to go from that to being living with a man day in and day out. Like honestly, you're like, I kind of like sleeping in my own bed by myself. That's why you're noticing more people are getting their own rooms. Like they're getting married, but they're all having their own rooms. Like I'll see you on the weekend, but the rest of the week, I'm gonna be in my own bed. Okay, crucial. Which one? There were so many questions that were really good. So tell me which one, if you guys remember from the podcast, tell me what was your favorite question that they asked. Because I didn't hear Kelps. I think it was at the end and I had to get off. So I missed it one. But tell me what that question was. Because I think I remember hearing Cody's answer, but I think I don't remember what the actual question was. Yeah, they're apparently made for each other. Take picture of the famous. Yes, I will, you guys. They always have a menu there, and it's super cute. And now I'm like running into the same people that are going every week, so that's been kind of fun. I think Mary had a hard time because she might feel like Janelle divorced her brother for Cody. That complicates things. Polygamy is messy. Like I said, you guys, I still don't understand how that happened. There's no way my ex sister-in-law will be marrying my husband. I don't care if I believed in polygamy or not. There's no way. Like to me, that's kind of, it feels girl codish. Does that make sense? Like even if I signed off for it on it, it still feels like girl code. Like no. And then honestly, for Janelle to be kind of like, I don't want to fool with Mary. It's like, wasn't that your sister-in-law though? Like, I just, that always bothered me that was her sister-in-law. I'll never be okay with it. Yeah, I'm trying to find somebody to take care of me too. No, I'm not. That's a lie. But definitely, if I can come home to home cooked meals and clean houses and like, I'll keep that man forever. Cody's too arrogant for me to watch on a podcast. I can only tolerate him in segments. He's the biggest. I will say that if the guys weren't so good on there with how they managed that conversation, I don't think I could have watched it either. But I think those guys, because it wasn't like they were pacifying him really, they just let him run his mouth. And he basically he acted like he wasn't going to do that, right? He's like, oh, I'm not going to say too much. I don't want to do a spoiler alert. No, he what he did on that show is exactly what he actually does on the TLC show. In fact, he probably told more because it was men and he was running his mouth. So it didn't even matter. Hi. If you know that, I'm trying to figure out. Oh yeah, I told you guys my name. I was like, do I know you in real life or no? It's because I totally forgot I told you guys my name was Anastasia. I'm like, Queen G, are you somebody I know in real life? I was in a relationship once and it worked really well, but we all lived together and slept together. I would want women who are interested in having you know what? I have seen that as well. I've definitely seen, because that's what's that? Not polyamory, but kinda a little bit still polygamy. Because if you watch what's it called? Seeking Sister Wives. If they bring Seeking Sister Wives back, y'all, I'm definitely gonna be reviewing that. I will definitely be reviewing Seeking Sister Wife because that show was reality gold. But on that show, they do have the couple. I think they do have separate rooms, but the women, what's his name? The Epps family. I follow them actually like in real life now, and his two wives that he was with on the show, they're all three still together. And if you watch their relationship with each other, those women are really close. They get along really well. They kind of almost feel a little bit romantic with each other a little bit too. Not as much, but I feel like you have to be like this. Like if you're like this with each other and you actually really like the woman that you're in this plural relationship with, I think it makes it significantly easier for plural relationships to work. Significantly. Oh, Tina says I was born into polyamory. Men are all selfish. Our mothers were great friends, though. Like John say, interesting. Were you born into polyamory or polygamy? Tina, let me know which one. Me and hubby have our own rooms. See, I'm telling you. Also, you guys, just a heads up, I'm going to be adding a couple mods soon to my chats. So if you are somebody that would be interested in being a mod, so it'd be someone that could consistently, jump on the lives when we have them and just be great for like popping in URLs if we need them, or kind of pumping up everyone, welcoming people to the chat. I'm looking to add a few. So if you want to, once this live is over and I post it, in the comments, just say that I'm looking to be a mod and like put some kisses by it, so I know that you're looking to be a mod. Like put the little well, no, you don't do all that. Just put some kisses and say I want to be a mod. And then I'll like connect with a couple of you to start adding some of those. What Lisa said, I've been with my guy for 20 plus years. I was sleeping in another room. I'm telling you, and I don't feel bad about it, but like I seriously think about it. It actually it's like a wet dream for me to think about having my own room, even while being married, especially if you have different schedules. And just kind of having that like time, that little bit of time by yourself. I don't see anything wrong with that. And then it's like you get like to visit each other on the weekends. Like you can plan surprises in your bedroom setup for your partner because they're visiting you. I'm kind of for all that. Oh, well, you're seeing the same people at the Golden Bachelor Watchers. I wish we had some. Yeah, it's fun. I've been seeing a few of the same people. It's been kind of cool. One thing about Robin taking the kids from her ex if they even knew if he has cancer. Yeah, and it's so funny because somebody wrote in the comments like, so it's not okay to ask if Robin took her kids away from her ex, but it is okay to say that Christine took her kids. Stop, sir. It is okay to say that Christine took her kids away from the father because that makes him look better. That fits his narrative. And I'm like, she did not take them. In fact, she was going out of her way to bring the kids back to see you. So cut it out. And honestly, if he's, how he was like saying in this, you guys, that like he was, it makes him like sick to watch the show back right now. I'll tell you what he could have done is he could have given Christine credit for not making it a you against me thing when it comes to McKelty and McKelty's relationship with him and Robin. That is one place where he could have given Christine kudos on, because let me tell you, if she wanted to turn the kids against him, that would be an easy thing to do. And in fact, she's doing the complete opposite. But he couldn't give her credit for anything because that's Kody. Hypergamy is the reason why Kody chose Robin at the end. I mean, tell it. Yeah, I think Janelle getting pregnant first definitely had to. Oh my God, I couldn't imagine. What that house was like. Her getting pregnant first. Woo. Janelle could be in a serious relationship where they have their own places. Yeah, I think just like he was saying, like, I didn't think it's not really, I guess, the term, but saying plural monogamy, Janelle would do great with that. To call red lipstick, that's fine. Yes, you can call me Anastasia. You can call me red lipstick too. Or you can call me Anastasia or Anna. Either one works. Okay, I get that. Let me see here. What'd you say? Happened to Seeking Sister Wives. It hasn't been back in a couple years. And the last season, the Epps family was on there. And then they had a couple other couples on there. So I don't know. I don't know if maybe they're struggling to find people that want to be on there. But it was, y'all, that show was good. They need to definitely bring that back. Brother Husband, you know what's so funny, you guys? I thought I would be into Brother Husband, and I hated it. Something like the men, they don't have enough catty for me. Like the men that actually choose to be in something like this, they're actually men that lack cattiness that's needed for effective reality TV. I think that's why Brother Husband just did not work for me. It just didn't. I think Kody knew that getting with Robin was a trophy to him, so he knew he had to provide for her. Oh, absolutely. Polyamory, not religion-based. Oh, okay, my parents are hippies. Ooh, really, Tina? Okay, I have heard a lot about polyamory from that time period, but I've never met anybody that actually came from, like, grew up in that, unless it was like part of like a cult. Like I've seen some cults during that time period that had that. And you see that as well. That happened with like David Koresh. When they were at, what was it called? Zion, or what? I don't know, they didn't call it Zion. What did they call it? Mount Carmel. Yeah, that group was living kind of like communal polyamory. Come on with you. I love it. Yes, I love the NFL too. I watch a lot of football. But yeah, reality TV is so much more fun. Like me and my mind is grounded in religion. That would make sense. I totally get that, Tina. 9 kids, 3 moms. Oh, I don't remember what that is. Tell me what that question's connected to, you guys. I must have missed it. He and Robin should give her credit. Christine handles the bridge situation. I'm telling you, she really handles that, y'all. See, look, Loving Life hated Brother Husband too. I did not like it. I did not like it. And you guys know I posted the video from that documentary I watched, or for that community. And like you see, some of those relationships worked, and some of them they flat out admitted, like, we literally only started getting along when he died. That's what brought us together. Before then, it was a nightmare. So I don't see it working for too many people. I just really don't. I really don't see it working for too many people. All right, you guys. I'm getting to that time. This has been fun. Got about a couple minutes left. But yeah, I'm looking forward to, I'll jump in the live really quick when I get to the watch party so you guys can see that. And then what else is going on? I'm going to do, I feel like I should, hopefully I'll be able to get a video. I'm going to get that video out and going so I can finish up this Golden Bachelor situation and then get ready for the finale for that. I think, well, no, they'll probably do the reunion next week. And then the week after they'll do the finale for that. So we'll see who wins. And then, yeah, we'll do Sister Wives this weekend. Probably drop I'm gonna break down that podcast a little bit more and talk about some things. Probably do a video for you guys this weekend, and then we'll get ready for the show on Sunday. But somebody told me it's gonna be like 18 episodes this season. So I'm wondering if that's 18 episodes including the tell-alls, or just 18 flat and then tell-alls on top of that. And then he did mention, you guys, in that podcast that he was going to work and filming. So they're still filming right now. So I'm assuming we're still going to get at least season 19, maybe 20. Because if you think about where they're at now, what year are they in? Technically 2021 for where this is at now. So we still have 2022, which would be season 19. We won't get what's happening currently until season 20. The way it's operating, unless they're going to skip over something. Because I think this one's like, that one's like, okay, maybe the season now is 2021 going into 2022. I think that's what's happening. Because when did Christine meet David, y'all? because in this show, it feels like she might have just maybe met him or just started going on dates, right? So I think she might have just started meeting him. So was that 2022? Or was that the end of 2021? When's her birthday? I guess that would help me. I got to go back into her. I bet you if I just went back into her Instagram to that photo, I could actually see when she posted her birthday, because that will tell me right then and there when this was filmed. Anna, sometimes y'all, I have moments. Okay, you're thinking it's 2022 too. I hope. Look, I'm hoping it is 2022 because that way in 2019 for season 19, we will get like more real time stuff. We won't be so behind because on the show now, those twins are like what 10 months now. We're about to go into 2024. So if that was filmed, I'm having to really scroll back, y'all. I mean, I know she posts a lot, but she was really posting like this. Okay. It's gonna bother me to all high heck if I don't find this. And I won't get off this live till I do. I gotta connect it back. Okay, that was October. Oh, this is still with her with a photo of Cody. Ooh, this is old. That was in 2019. Okay. Okay, this is her in Utah. And that was 2021. So yeah, y'all, I'm thinking it's 2022. Because Avalon's still a baby in these 2021 photos. So okay, 2022 it is. Okay, so we're catching up then. Okay. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. Hit the like button. Love you guys. Thank you for showing up. Thanks for being part of the community. I love it. It's been great. It's been so much fun. I'm loving to get to know each and every single one of you. And like I said, if you're interested in being a mod, when you see this posted, just please pop that in the comments for me. And I'll start by picking just a couple. And in the future, if we grow, I can add more. So that'll be great. All right, you guys. Have a good day. I'll see you later. Bye.